One of those team members, Aluzdelia Caballero, went out to cover a story about the community impact of the raids. And within minutes, found one happening here at a local car wash. Workers scrambled to hide as stunned customers watched this all unfold.
Stop resisting!
All of a sudden, all these cars pulled up and just started pulling people. Everybody started screaming. My car is sitting there with towels on it.
At a local car wash, employees are busy with buckets and towels while customers sip coffee as they wait for their cars. Everything seems normal until unmarked federal vehicles suddenly pull into the lot. Doors fly open and agents step out with precision and authority. Within seconds, what looked like a simple workplace turns into the site of a targeted immigration enforcement operation. For some, the scene was startling. For others, it was reassuring, a sign that immigration laws are being enforced and that communities are being protected from individuals who are not only here illegally, but may also have criminal records. In this video, we are breaking down what really happened during this raid, why ICE targeted this particular car wash, and why these enforcement actions matter for the safety of America's neighborhoods. Stay tuned until the end, because we'll connect this single operation to the bigger picture of immigration enforcement nationwide. And before we begin, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. That way, you'll never miss our in-depth reports on the stories that shape our country. The Studio City hand car wash in Los Angeles was operating as usual when a fleet of unmarked vehicles pulled into the lot. This was no random stop. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, better known as ICE, had come prepared with a targeted plan. Agents immediately entered the property, moving quickly and decisively. Customers who happened to be there described the moment as shocking, but the speed and discipline of the agents was no accident. This was a professional, coordinated operation aimed at detaining specific individuals who were in the United States illegally. Witnesses saw workers scatter, unsure of who the agents were targeting. Some rushed into closets, others hid behind cars. What looked like panic from the outside was in fact the ripple effect of enforcement. When individuals know they may not have legal status, fear often sets in. But who exactly was ICE looking for, and why did they choose this car wash? The answer sheds light on why these raids are necessary. ICE does not randomly select locations. Every operation is based on intelligence, records, and investigations. According to federal officials, this car wash was not chosen by accident. It was the workplace of several individuals flagged for immigration violations. Among those arrested was a man from Mexico with a prior criminal record involving drug possession. For ICE, this alone justified action. The agency has long emphasized that one of its core missions is to locate and remove criminal illegal aliens, individuals whose presence in the United States poses potential risks to public safety. By choosing this site, ICE was not targeting an entire workforce. They were executing a targeted plan to detain individuals identified through careful investigation. And when the operation began, the agents followed through, making arrests that the Department of Homeland Security later confirmed. Homeland Security released a statement later that day, confirming that 4 undocumented immigrants were detained at the Studio City car wash. These individuals were citizens of Guatemala and Mexico, with at least one having a prior arrest for possession of marijuana. This matters because ICE's critics often claim that the agency indiscriminately targets workers, but in reality, operations like this one are designed to prioritize those with criminal histories. By removing individuals who have already broken U.S. laws, ICE is carrying out its responsibility to enforce immigration law while also safeguarding communities. Supporters of the operation argue that if laws are not enforced, they mean nothing. Allowing people with prior criminal offenses to remain in the country sends the wrong message. Instead, ICE's presence shows that the United States takes its laws seriously. But despite the facts, not everyone saw it this way. Some on the ground described the raid very differently. The car wash manager, Ben Forrett, accused the agents of acting like bullies and claimed they did not show him a warrant. He alleged that even a worker with legal status was briefly mishandled in the chaos. But what critics call heavy-handed, ICE calls effective. In the heat of an enforcement operation, agents have to move quickly. Their priority is ensuring safety, securing the area, and detaining individuals who may attempt to flee. In those moments, misunderstandings can happen, but the larger mission remains the same: uphold the law. Some customers also complained that their vehicles were left in limbo when workers fled or were detained with car keys still in their pockets. Hours later, ICE agents returned the keys, demonstrating professionalism even after the fact. And while critics focus on disruptions, supporters argue the alternative, doing nothing, would be far worse. Immigration enforcement is about more than just statistics. It is about protecting communities, ensuring fairness, and upholding the rule of law. When individuals enter or remain in the country illegally, it places strain on public resources, creates unfair competition for legal workers, and in some cases, allows those with criminal records to slip through the cracks. By conducting targeted operations, ICE sends a clear message: the United States will not turn a blind eye to immigration violations. These actions deter employers from hiring undocumented workers and remind others that the law applies to everyone. For every critic who says raids create fear, there are community members who quietly feel safer knowing that individuals with criminal records are being removed. And the truth is, operations like this aren't going away anytime soon. In fact, they are becoming more frequent. The Studio City raid is just one example of a nationwide strategy. ICE has been steadily increasing workplace enforcement operations, targeting industries where undocumented labor is common. From farms to factories, construction sites to car washes, these operations are part of a broader effort to ensure that American jobs go to legal workers and that employers comply with the law. Every arrest is more than just a number. It is part of a larger deterrent effect. Businesses that knowingly employ undocumented workers risk losing employees, damaging their reputations, and even facing legal consequences themselves. This is not about punishing honest businesses. It is about leveling the playing field for employers who follow the rules and making sure the system is fair. Still, the debate rages on. Are raids like this an act of justice? Or do they cross a line? Immigration has always been one of the most divisive issues in the United States. On one side, critics argue that enforcement actions are too aggressive, traumatizing families and disrupting communities. They focus on the emotional toll of seeing workers detained and children worried about their parents. But on the other side, supporters stress that emotions cannot outweigh the law. Every nation has the right to enforce its borders and control who is allowed to live and work within its territory. Supporters of ICE point out that many undocumented immigrants bypass legal immigration channels that millions of others spend years waiting to complete. To them, enforcing the law is not cruel. It is a matter of fairness. The Studio City raid embodies this divide. To some, it was unnecessary. To others, it was proof that America still respects the rule of law. But regardless of which side you are on, one fact is clear: ICE is not backing down. For ICE, the Studio City raid was a success. 4 individuals who were in the country illegally, including one with a criminal background, were taken into custody. The operation demonstrated the agency's commitment to both targeted enforcement and community safety. Going forward, ICE has made clear that operations like this will continue. The agency's strategy is not only about detaining individuals, but also about discouraging future violations. By showing that enforcement is active and consistent, ICE hopes to deter both illegal immigration and employers tempted to look the other way. For communities, this means that immigration enforcement will remain a visible part of daily life. Whether at a car wash, a construction site, or a restaurant, these operations are designed to remind everyone that the law is real and will be enforced. The Studio City car wash raid was not just a disruption, it was a demonstration of accountability. While some criticize the tactics, the facts remain. ICE detained 4 undocumented immigrants, one with a criminal history, and sent a clear message that violations of U.S. immigration law will not be ignored. This is about more than one business. It is about the safety of communities, the fairness of the job market, and the integrity of America's immigration system. Without enforcement, laws mean nothing. With it, the rule of law is upheld. So what do you think? Were ICE agents right to step in? Or do you believe operations like this go too far? Let us know in the comments below. And if you value in-depth coverage that goes beyond the headlines, hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications. Because as this story proves, immigration enforcement isn't just happening at the border. It is happening right here in our neighborhoods, in places as ordinary as your local car wash.